Hi, I hope you're enjoying The Giver. This is chapters 13 and 14, just kind of a summary of what's going on. Just a reminder, don't forget, every day that there is school, you have to do the "Hey, I'm here." So don't forget that. Also, you should be working on your journal slide number 8. If you do not have 7 slides already, you need to get in touch with me and make sure you understand that. So, in chapter 13, when Jonas realizes color exists, he thinks, well, I wouldn't want color because then people would have to make decisions. What if they made the wrong decision? Because he's never made decisions before. He's never had the freedom to make decisions. And so he looks at it as a negative thing. Then he starts thinking about it. And then he says, well, why not color? And he's now kind of just angry all the time. And he thinks his friends, they're just satisfied with all their dull life. And he just thinks they would be a lot happier if they had a more vibrant life. Another day, the giver transmits to Jonas the memory of poachers killing an elephant, if you recall that in the reading. And this is actually the first time Jonas realizes that people have different colored skin. Because everybody's skin is gray there. The dead elephant's mate finds it after the poachers attack it, and it's a really sad part in the story. So he's starting to get more sadness in his memories that are being transmitted to him. So then the giver explains that Jonas can't apply for a spouse. The giver did have a spouse, but she's no longer with him. But he said it's really hard to have a spouse. You have to hide your books from them. You just have so many secrets from them. You can't share with them anything. So he said basically being a giver is a solitary, secret life, even if you're married. And then he talks about how they have to advise the elders. Jonas gets a little nervous about that because that sounds like a big responsibility. The subject of failure from the other receiver comes up from 10 years ago. Jonas asks the giver what happened. Remember, he's allowed to ask questions. In the rest of the community, it's considered rude to ask questions. So he asked, and he said that she failed. And when she failed, the memories didn't come back to him, and they actually went into the community. And so the people didn't know how to handle the memories that went out. And there was a lot of chaos. And so the elders decided it was better if there's only a receiver to keep the memories. That made it clear how much they needed a receiver. So only a receiver suffers and the people don't, which doesn't seem fair, does it? So sometimes Jonas shows up for his training and the giver's just rocking in pain, and he sends him away without training. You can see that the giver is in a lot of grief, a lot of pain. And so when this happens, Jonas just goes for a long walk and tries to test his memory by looking for colors and trying to feel the sun. He actually walks all the way to the river and stands at the bridge, and he just looks across and wonders, what is elsewhere like? What are the other communities like? Do they have hills and colors and sunshine? So one day, Jonas asks the giver, what causes him so much pain? And the giver doesn't answer. And so Jonas asks if perhaps it isn't time for him to take some of the painful memories from the giver so that the giver isn't in so much pain. And the giver agrees. So what painful memories do you think the giver might have that he's going to now give to Jonas? Tune in tomorrow.